Is he licking your ear?
He is. Okay, well, let's not act like we're walking around the house like cooking lasagna and we both get mad and take all our clothes off.
And so it's almost like you have to relearn how you've always thought of money and how you're going to tackle it together.
What she got?
Look what I got you,
She's got a rope and a bone.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no, it's for you on the bed.
Hey.
Oh, no, it is. Feels like life is moving really fast.
Let's all take a big...
Breathe out.
All right. Well, if you're new around here, my name's Nick. This is Chelsea.
This is me.
This is...
And this is Waldo.
And he loves to play with his daddy. But it would mean the world to us if you click the subscribe button so you never miss a video. We upload every single week. And you can join our little journey and family that we have around here.
I was just telling Nick before we started this video that I look really pregnant.
Yes, you do. And you know why?
Because I am.
Because you are.
But we're excited to tackle these assumptions. There's some that we got on Instagram. I screenshotted quite a bit.
How many do you think we got?
We got a few hundred.
Oh, okay.
Keep a good mix of them. Because we have a lot of different ones. This is very interesting. Okay, I don't know why this one is the first one that I see. But it says, you don't have as much sex now that you're pregnant. Yes,
yeah, that's true.
We don't have as much, but we're gonna make a whole video on intimacy and pregnancy because I feel like that topic is really not covered by too many YouTubers that I admire, and I wish it was covered. There's a lot that are like, this is what it's like after we have a baby, and I appreciate those too, but during, I had never thought of that before I got pregnant for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's accurate.
Yeah,
so.
But we've just gotten more creative and more intentional about when we do, and that's what we'll say for now.
Yeah, what a way to start.
What a way to start.
We regret getting married so young.
I think that's the one that we
That is not true.
We really do not regret that whatsoever. No. We wish we could have gotten married sooner.
Yeah, I mean, of course there's things that were harder about being younger, but there's always going to be challenges no matter how old you are.
Right.
So
there's never a perfect time to get married.
No. So I have zero regrets about getting married as young as we did, which was 21, and we're both 23 now. We just passed 2 years, but yeah, no regrets.
That girl is not the only one who assumed that. There's probably about 15 people who said the same thing on that.
Well,
it's like, you regret it. I'm like,
sure
why
don't.
would we regret that? I don't know. Chelsea is very submissive, even if that is not part of her personality. Biblically, there's a healthy submitting to one another.
Yeah, keyword to one another.
Right.
It's not like you're like you just do what I say, or like I just do what you say. It's like we both find common ground and agree to that. However, just because I might suggest something or assert something does not mean that you just like submit to whatever I say, because like a lot of times you won't necessarily fire back, but you'll definitely let me know your thoughts. Yeah. So I would disagree with that one.
And I think again there is like biblically, a wife is to submit to her husband as the husband is to submit to the Lord, like the headship of the Lord.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the church is supposed to submit to Christ. Like, so it's like a picture, a full picture. That's why marriage is so beautiful, and it's just as beautiful outside of marriage, you know, being a single, but that's one thing that is painted during marriage.
You two did not have problems with communication. Not true. I mean, it's not like all the time, but there's definitely times when we're both just trying to say something, or we have something that we want to say, but we just have no idea how to say it in a way that the other person can understand, because I can't tell you how many times Chelsea has been just trying to communicate something to me.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong here, but what I'm understanding is that this, and this, and she's just like, No. And,
because a
and
lot
vice
of
versa.
times that's a struggle that I have, is communicating my feelings and what exactly is going through my head, because a lot of times it takes me a few days to even observe what exactly is going through my mind and what I'm processing.
Yeah.
And for Nick, when he's communicating something, it's just that sometimes he gets so frustrated with himself or the situation that he doesn't really even want to communicate it right away. So those are our strength and weaknesses area that we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's healthy. Every marriage has communication struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is to just get better, and you do.
Mm-hmm.
You do as you get to know each other.
Yep.
And you fight for that. So
True.
this one says Chelsea is the more serious one and Nick is the more silly one. You would say no?
I would say heck no.
It's very equal.
Yeah, I think we're both equally serious and silly.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm in like ultra serious mode and I'm not playing. So, full disclosure, we have this thing. Well, we don't have this thing, but Chelsea does it. Where like I'll be trying to be serious and really like, okay, I'm gonna go tell her this, and like I mean it. And not like mean, like Chelsea, you're doing something, but like, hey, I want to go do this. I'm serious. Yeah, I want to have this conversation about, you know, where we want to take our business or our ministry or vision or something. And Chelsea will just like look at me, just like, yeah. And then I'll just start laughing. I'm like, man, I can't keep it together when you're doing that.
Because sometimes he gets his look on his face of like ultra seriousness, and I'm just like, come on, lighten up. But it's the way that we're silly sometimes. There's obviously other examples of this, but that's just what comes to mind. And I think we're both, like, when we're both super serious, people probably find us intense to be around, because we can come off pretty intense. But whenever we're around people that we just cut
up with,
we're really silly.
Something I really used to struggle with, this is just me being transparent, I used to struggle with like no one wanting to like do fun outings or like go play golf or anything, because I was just in ultra serious mode all the time. I could not take a joke because I was so insecure. So if someone would like crack a joke about anything about me, I would like get defensive. What? or something like that. Whereas now I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. So
yeah, and honestly, the journey of him entering into YouTube with me has been really a challenge for him, because a lot of times, I don't know if you guys have been able to tell, but when we say that we're silly, it's usually off of YouTube. It's usually not completely like here. And it's taken like a lot of time for us to be ourselves together on camera, because for some reason Nick and the camera, they're still developing a relationship.
We're still, her and I are still trying to figure each other out. We're still dating.
Wow, for me, this summer will be 10 years.
They've been married for a decade.
10 years on YouTube.
Me and the camera are still going on some dates, trying to figure each other out. But honestly, that was and has been a really hard thing for me to figure out. It's just like how to not take this so seriously,
and that's
while still taking it seriously, but just not so much where it's like, hello, my name is Nick and today we're doing a vlog. It's like, you know.
But I think that's where a lot of the assumptions and like negative comments have come for Nick before in the past, is because they just take how he is on video, and that's all they have. It's all these people have.
And so I can't blame you if you've assumed that.
But that's just in the spirit of full transparency. Like what you see on YouTube and even couples dynamics, it's not always how it is in real life.
However, I do remember when we first started, and then we'll move on to the next thing, when we first started doing YouTube, to where we would get in videos and my nervous tick was to just talk. And so I would not let you get a word in edgewise, and I would just talk the whole time, and I go back and I'm like, man. So I have grown. Generally agree about finances.
Generally?
Yeah, generally agree.
This is an area of opportunity in our relationship.
For growth.
For growth.
And flourishing.
This is, every time we go into a counseling session or we're in a conversation with friends that are also married, this is the one area that everyone admits is different for both of them. Like the previous experiences we bring in with money and our families and our relationship with money impacts how you see it today. And so it's almost like you have to relearn how you've always thought of money and how you're going to tackle it together. So this is an area where we very rarely agree, honestly. And we're getting better about that, but it's just because our mindsets on money and our mindsets on business versus personal and fill in the blank is just so different. But we're in a healthy place with it to where it would stretch us a lot.
Yeah.
And through those hard times, we've learned how to communicate better about it.
I think the place that we're in now, as far as how we're navigating our finances together, is really we're organizing.
Yeah.
So not getting into how much we make or, you know, assets and liabilities and all that jazz, but I would say right now we're really getting ourselves organized with financial institutions and people who look after our money and our taxes and our accounting and all that stuff, and really just making sure that we have everything in order. And we're getting on the same page. So we both just came in with two very, very different backgrounds with money, and they definitely clashed at one point. But I definitely think
Excuse me. Sorry.
But I definitely think that we're moving to a healthier place with it now. Just being more organized and more on the same page with it.
I just like the funny one. Sorry, you already know which one I'm gonna pick.
I don't, but...
Oh, you don't? So this is from a friend of mine actually, but I'm not gonna share her name out of respect. It says, y'all don't fight/argue naked.
What?
Y'all don't fight or argue naked.
No. No, oh no.
If you want to end a fight,
get naked.
Get naked.
Yeah, we're busy doing other stuff if we're naked. Yeah. Oh, no.
But I also find whenever you're closer together and having an argument or a conversation that's a little bit more heated, whatever you want to classify that is, you can't get as frustrated with one another because the closer you are in proximity.
Okay, well, let's not act like we're walking around the house like cooking lasagna and we both get mad and take all our clothes off.
No, I'm not saying that I'm naked in this scenario.
Oh, okay. All right, continue.
I'm saying like I'm fully clothed, you're fully clothed. And
praise God.
Whenever we are closer together and like drop our pride and are within a distance of being able to hug one another or physically touch one another, then...
Not in like a weird way.
No.
Just like a hug.
But both of our top love languages are physical touch. And so a lot of times what can happen when we're arguing is we're so frustrated that we don't want to hug, or you know that you need a hug, but you can't communicate that to the other person because you're in your pride in that moment, and you're just like, and you're like boiling over and knowing that you need like physical attention, but you're just not willing to give it to one another until the pride is dropped. So.
Yeah. And one of us, you never know which one it's going to be first, but one of us will usually break and
just be like, we don't mean to be like this to one another.
Yeah, just like, I'm sorry.
This one says, Chelsea cooks the meals and Nick does the lawn mowing. That's such a funny assumption because it's just like, cooking, lawn mowing.
It's like, I mean, generally.
It's like
woman thing, man thing.
It's like the stereotypes.
Yeah. Well, is that true? Is it false?
Nick does both of those things. And so there was another comment in here that we're not going to share, but it was along the lines of calling us sexist because I was looking shameful about saying that Nick does a lot more of the cooking, when in reality, Nick likes to cook.
I do.
And
I know what I like to eat. I know how I want it to taste, and I'll do it myself. I'd rather cook it myself and know that it's gonna be awesome. Not that you can't cook good food. You actually make really good food when you try and follow a recipe. But
he's just better.
Sometimes she'll just pull out a whole bunch of random ingredients and random spices and throw it
have
all
at
together.
Find our rhythms, and some weeks he'll be doing more around the house than I will, and then other weeks I'll be doing more, and it really just depends, you know, what we have going on with work and all that sort of stuff. And we're trying to take the whole like roles of a typical man and a woman and just figure out what works for us.
Yeah.
And I know that as a mom, like, this is just a little cool fact that I learned recently from my doula. When you give birth, your brain creates new like nerve pathways to be able to multitask better, which is really interesting because you actually lose brain cells when you're pregnant. And that's why people call it pregnancy brain, because you kind of feel like you're going a little crazy. But there are new pathways in your brain that are formed. And so I've actually seen and heard other moms admit that they got better about multitasking and being able to handle doing more things as they became a mom. So I feel like my capacity is probably going to be stretched and grown through that process. But I don't put this pressure on myself. I don't think Nick puts a pressure on himself to like get all these house chores done. They got to get done. We're collectively going to do them together.
And however that works, as far as a balance for us, it might be different than you. And that's totally fine.
We cool with that.
So
I got to sneeze. I woke up the baby probably. I just did it
right in my face.
I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back.
Bye.
I had to blow my nose. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I'm sorry if I keep sneezing. It's springtime in South Carolina.
Blow your nose.
I already blowed it.
Blew it?
blew it. I'm crying.
She went.
That'd be an amazing thumbnail.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, what a hook. So now that Chelsea has had her sneeze attack, let's move on to a few more assumptions, shall we?
Shall we?
Shall we? All right, you are more extroverted than your husband. Well, I don't have a husband, but you have a husband. And are you more extroverted than he is?
No! I always have to beg him everywhere we go that we need to leave. You need to come home, Nick, because you've been gone for so many hours talking to so-and-so.
Shut up. So I don't really think you guys get a full picture of actually how extroverted I am on camera, because I love talking to people.
It's just us on video usually.
I'm usually so much more chill in front of a camera because it's a camera and not a person, and we're not having a conversation.
I'm not as much of an extrovert, but I do thrive in having like one-on-one time with friends. So I think that is more of an introverted thing because he would rather be in bigger groups. So that's why also I think the evangelist calling really fits him well, because he can go into bigger spaces and preach and share the gospel.
You need me to preach? Book me. ClaytonKing.com/Nick.
For real,
Go there and
that's
grab
the
me.
link. Y'all feel totally safe with each other.
Yeah, you my chicken.
Oh. There's been comments that Nick has gotten before that calls him abusive and
physically,
controlling.
mentally, emotionally, all the alleys, abusive.
And every time I get comments like that, and there's been women who DM me and say that they're very spiritual people and that they get the sense that we're really unhealthy and that our relationship is falling apart.
That they're concerned for your health. And,
yeah. And it's very frustrating, honestly, because like we just expressed throughout this video, our relationship is even stronger and better off camera than it is on camera. And we're just trying our best as we get better at this to just continue to show our true dynamic.
Yeah.
But people misunderstand it, and they view Nick because he is a stronger personality, and you are, like, I mean, we were even talking about this today, like, people have looked into his eyes before and they're like, oh my gosh, you have some dark eyes, boy. And some people even find that, like, just very, like, a lot. I know that I'm not the only one, and he's not the only one that gets accusations about our relationship. And they just admitted and said, hey, those people, a lot of them will not stop commenting about your relationship in that way because they're just so sure that they have it figured out, and they just want to like think they have the inside scoop. And so they gave me the advice to just start blocking people and just start like not giving a care, because most people are very supportive and understand that there's like, we would care more about if our relationship was unhealthy to address that outside of YouTube and not even be on here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like, versus trying to make this image happen and that sort of stuff. We're just people like that care about our relationship far more than our YouTube.
Yeah, if there was like a big issue, we wouldn't be uploading on here.
When I see other couples that are dating and they are uploading every day and they're sharing their relationship and everything, I get really fearful for them, because I'm like, that's a lot of pressure and a lot of stuff to go through before you've committed your life to someone. And I've just seen people get really heartbroken and get really drained super fast. So just know, as a viewer of our channel, we prioritize our relationship so much, way before we ever would work.
Oh, yeah. Someone said this. They said, y'all are best friends. So this is an assumption. Last one. We'll just make this the last one.
Okay.
They said, y'all are best friends and strive to balance your marriage, private to the public, but also being open and transparent too.
That's pretty accurate.
I think that is so accurate. We really try intentionally to strike a healthy balance between how much and what we share, and then how much we don't, and what we choose to keep to ourselves. And we never want you guys to feel like we're hiding something, or that there's something going on that you don't know. But there are certain things that are just sacred to us that we just want to keep in our home between the two of us, and we don't.
Sorry, a whole motorcycle gang is going by.
Oh, is that what it was? Certain things that we just want to keep in our home and a part of our relationship here, and that we honestly just don't believe need to be widely available to the public eye. And we think that's okay, and we think that that's a healthy balance for us, and we're still transparent here in our home, but also with you guys online too. And that works for us.
We're really grateful for all these assumptions. We just really are thankful for you guys and how involved you are in this whole process. And truly, you guys truly do feel like family.
Yeah. And hey, if you want to be more involved with us, like actually really behind the scenes of what we're doing, and Bible studies over Zoom, and live streams, private live streams where you can ask us all the questions, feel free to head over to our Patreon and become a member. Just become a part of the fam with us. We have an awesome little community that we're building over there, and it's been really cool. And so we'll leave a link right below where you can go do that. It starts at like $5, really easy and accessible. And we'd love for you to join us over there. So,
but we don't want to make this video too long. We're gonna go ahead and probably get ready for dinner and attend to our dog.
Wrap her up.
He has a lot of needs. Come on, baby. Come here, honey boy. Oh,
that little
baby.
That little pumpkin boy.
You are getting so big. Were you sleeping? Were you sleeping, baby?
All right, guys. Well, from our family, we love you.
To yours.
And
is he licking your ear?
He is. But from our family to yours, we love you.
Love you so much, Bum Bum.
We'll talk to you in the next one.
Say bye, Wando. Say bye, people.
Say bye, Wando.
Bye, people at the internet.
Okay, that's a wrap.
Oh, my babies.